Pelosi has now paused this super important, super urgent process indefinitely. It is the kind of level of hypocrisy, outright dishonesty, and lying that is unconscionable. But it is very fitting. Democrats, with the help of course, their best friends in the media mob, state-run TV, the deep state, have been lying to you, to us, every step of the way. First, we have the compromised, corrupt, congenital liar, the pencil neck, I guess the president calls him, Adam Schiff, lying about the transcript of the call between the president and President Zelensky. Next, Schiff lied about the fake non-whistleblower hearsay whistleblower. Remember, he said his office, they would like to have contact. They'd like to hear from them. They had no contact with the individual, when in fact his office was in fact communicating with the hearsay whistleblower even before he filed the bogus complaint. Next, Democrats lied about witness testimony. During the Schiff show, the first audition show, the secret closed-door witness rehearsal show, Democrats selectively were leaking only the misleading information in order to impugn the president and gain public favor. That's called propaganda. Ultimately, they passed two bogus articles with only one fact witness. One, that's it, Ambassador Sondland, whose testimony was exculpatory for the president. He wanted nothing, no quid, no pro, no quo, like Joe. I want nothing. The proceeding was a dishonest train wreck from the very beginning, to deceive the American people and lie to get the support of the American people. There was never any evidence. It was non-existent. Now there is for quid pro quo Joe and zero experience Hunter. Well, you're not getting the billion unless you fire the prosecutor investigating my zero experience son. Yeah, the very thing they act so outraged about. There was no due process like Newt Gingrich afforded Bill Clinton and his attorneys in 98 and 9. No basic fairness, no high crimes, no misdemeanors, no bribery, no treason. One nebulous abuse of power charge, whatever that is. One totally made up obstruction of Congress, because this president dared to do what all the presidents before him have done, and that is when they can't get along in the executive and legislative branch, you can seek remedy. You can go to the court system. They settle those disputes. After all, they were in a rush. This was urgent. Now Pelosi has all the time in the world, apparently. Guess it's not as urgent as they said. Another lie. She's demanding the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, follow her strict instructions for how the Senate trial should be run. She wants him to call all the witnesses they didn't call, but yet they impeached them. They failed to get the subpoena. She also wants to ensure a fair trial with total impartiality. Big problem there is her best friend, or BFF in the Senate, Chucky Schumer, totally agrees. But in the 90s, when a Democrat was being impeached, Chuck was running on exonerating Clinton. 11 separate felonies Ken Starr identified. Take a look.
This is not a criminal trial, but this is something that the founding fathers decided to put in a body that was susceptible to the whims of politics. And also, it's not like a jury box in the sense that people will call us and lobby us. You don't have jurors called and lobbied and things like that. I mean, it's quite different than a jury.
Oh, that's it. Oh, he's a total hypocrite. Get the theme here? Hypocrites, liars, zero principles, no core values, selective, feigned moral outrage. And Chucky Schumer actually ran for the Senate on that promise to acquit President Clinton without any case being presented. And back then, the independent Starr report determined Clinton committed, he identified 11 specific impeachable offenses, including felonies. Chucky Schumer raged against the mere prospect of ever impeaching a U.S. president over lying and suborning perjury and perjury. Take a look.
If we vote articles of impeachment, I fear that we will be setting a precedent that could seriously weaken the office of the presidency, whether the president is removed from office or not. That we will be in danger of all too frequently investigating presidents and seeking to remove them from office. Unless a miracle occurs, we will take one of the most serious and rare actions that this body can assume and impeach the president against the overwhelming will of the American people. That now we are routinely using criminal accusations and scandal to win the political battles and ideological differences we cannot settle at the ballot box. History will show that we've lowered the bar on impeachment so much. We have broken the seal on this extreme penalty so cavalierly that it will be used as a routine tool to fight political battles My fear is that when a Republican wins the White House, Democrats will demand payback. There's no need to continue forward because there are certainly not two-thirds for impeachment. What we ought to be doing instead of this is doing what the American people want us to do.
And Chucky's opinions, of course, conveniently, magically evolve, but many of his Democratic colleagues in the Senate, they're growing pretty weary of the spectacle and the outrage of Nancy Pelosi, Speaker in name only, and her stall tactic and stunt. Majority Leader McConnell has consistently offered the same rules and procedures that the Senate approved for the trial of Bill Clinton, 100-0. And now top Democrats are asking Pelosi end the charade. They're demanding it. Even Senator Feinstein, fellow Californian, saying it's Pelosi's decision, but if they're serious and urgent, send them over. If it isn't, don't send it over. Democrats Doug Jones, Angus King, Joe Manchin, Chris Murphy, Richard Blumenthal, and Chris Coons and others all echoing Feinstein's ultimatum. Even one House member, Adam Smith, he called for Pelosi to stop stalling. Then he had to recant, probably after getting, well, beaten down in closed doors, smoke-filled rooms by friends of the Speaker. Look at this poll. A whopping 58% of Americans think Pelosi needs to send the articles over. That would be called due process and fundamental fairness. Of course, don't expect it tonight. Pelosi still desperately dragging this on, and President Trump, he's taking her to task. Pretty entertaining way as well. Take a look.
By the way, did you say I did nothing wrong? They don't even know what the hell is going on. In fact, it's so weak, she doesn't want to put in the articles. It's so weak. They're so pathetic. They're so pathetic.